Everybody, welcome to my channel. This is my third time trying to figure this thing out, but I think I finally figured out a lighting situation that I'm happy with, so I'm gonna film my first real YouTube video, I guess. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna film my kind of recent go-to summer makeup. I have pretty oily skin that's a bit dehydrated right now because I was just at the beach and got a little bit sunburned. So I've adjusted one thing to kind of make up for that, but this is what I've been doing recently with my summer makeup. So just keep watching if you're interested. I'm gonna start with the First Aid Beauty, like the HelloFab part of First Aid Beauty Coconut Skin Smoothie Priming Moisturizer. I really love this stuff because it keeps me super hydrated on those days when I am feeling dehydrated. And even though I have oily skin, I far prefer doing a routine that is more about keeping my skin looking fresh and glowy than anything. I'm a pretty low maintenance person. I don't like having to touch up throughout the day. And so I like that more light coverage glow look because it means I don't have to worry about touching up, because when your makeup wears off, it looks nice throughout the day, even as it is wearing off. So I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna let that sit for a good second. And in the meantime, I'm going to prime my eyes for my eye makeup today. Even though this eye look I'm gonna do is super simple, like really there are two products I'm using for it aside from the primer. I always use an eye primer because my eyelids are greasy as hell, and anything I do on them fades away and creases in like 2 hours if I don't, so that's why I'm doing this. Just gonna smush that in. This is the Milani eye primer, which I super like. It almost has like a silicone-y feel, but it dries down kind of nicely. It gets tacky at first and then it dries down. I set it anyway because that's what I'm used to, and I like the way my shadows operate like that with it, but you don't necessarily have to if you have eyelids that are drier than my own. So I'm just going to set that with the face powder I'm going to use. It's the Bourjois Healthy Balance matte one. And take my NYX, there's no number on it, it's a NYX blending brush, crease brush, this, and just kind of smash that all over my eyelid. Then what I'm going to take is ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in Weenie. I'm just going to smear this with my finger all over my eyelid. Oh, you know what I should do? I should zoom you guys in. Oh, that works okay. All right, zoom you guys in. Just going to smear it all over. I'm not really going to worry about, like, I'm going to actually make sure I bring it up to my crease. I have kind of hooded eyes, so I have to bring whatever I do up if I want any hope of people seeing what I've done to my eyes. So I'm just going to do that, kind of work it into my eyelid. Oh yeah, there we go. Sorry, still figuring out this camera stuff. The technology part of this is not my strong suit. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. So I'm sure you can see this like unicorn horn zit in the middle of my forehead right now. That is my, you know, this pimple that I've had for like a week. This is one that kind of recurs for me also. I do have kind of acne prone skin. I figured out a routine finally that super works for me, but it unfortunately doesn't quite prevent the hormonal stuff that happens. So I do have a dermatologist appointment on Monday just to figure that shit out. This is the Nars eyeshadow duo. There you go. And what's the shade? Isolde. I got this because of Kathleen Light's like years back, and I love it a lot. I'm just gonna plop that right over the Weenie shadow. Kind of blend it all over my lid and through the crease. I also am not somebody that really ascribes to you need mattes in the crease and you need mattes in your eye looks. I do like matte shadows, not to say that I don't like them, because I do, and they have their purpose, and I like them when I'm trying more bright colored looks. I think that's a fun way to experiment with them. But I also really like the way that shimmer looks all over the eyes, and when you have, I don't have a ton of lid space, and when you don't have a ton of lid space, I feel like using shimmer in the crease can kind of create the illusion that you have more lid space than you actually do. So that's why I've just really been enjoying doing this for my eyes recently. Also, it's just super freaking easy. It's literally 2 products that I use. I'm gonna pop just a smidge of eyeliner just to define them a teeny bit, but that's pretty much the eye look I've been doing. I'm just gonna go on the, ooh, Jesus, this is dried out, with my ColourPop brown Taurus liner. I'm pretty sure that's the color it is. Wow! Fuck. Oh shit. It fell out. Well, I guess I'm not using that anymore. I just lost that. I'll be right back. This is trial and error, folks. It's the first video I've done in a while. So we're gonna move on to the face now. First thing I'm gonna do is just try to conceal this thing a little bit with my Nars Soft Matte Creamy Concealer in Creme Brulee. This is actually right now that I do have, in addition to the burn, I am a little bit tan for me right now, which sounds ridiculous because I'm still pale as hell, but I am a little bit tan, so this finally actually matches my skin tone, but this is a smidge darker just because it kind of helps, or usually at least, just it kind of helps diminish the appearance of these scars and or active pimples that I have. So I'm just going to lay a little bit of that down first and just a teensy bit under my eyes to counteract my chronic bags and dark circles. There we go. And then what I've been doing for my base recently is I've been mixing the Lumi Glotion from L'Oreal in 902 Light Glow with my Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Tinted Hydrating Gel Cream, Broad Spectrum SPF 30. So like I was saying about light bases, I much prefer that just because of the way my skin behaves, both in terms of the fact that I don't want to clog my pores, and also because I just like the light coverage. It gives me what I want. This is the shade Birch, which is 1.5, and it works very well for me, even when I am this little bit more tan, because it is a tinted moisturizer, and it blends nicely. So I just mixed the 2 of those in my hand, and just gonna pat it everywhere and rub it in. We're gonna work that into the skin. See, it gives you just enough coverage to like help with any redness that might be peeking through, but it doesn't cover it. Like, I love my freckles, it doesn't cover up my freckles. I like that my, you know, acne scarring and everything still shows through for the most part. Okay, kind of just rubbed off all that concealer. I think that's what's flattering on me makeup wise, is makeup that, you know, obviously people know that I have makeup on, but it looks like me and it doesn't look like a mask or anything like that. See, so I do that, and then I go in with the Glossier Stretch Concealer in the shade Light, and I go over a little bit of my chin, edges around my nose because that's where I'm redder, teensy bit on the tip. And I go over those places where I did put down the darker, or the Nars concealer before, just to kind of balance it out and give that last little bit of coverage that I do want. Do on my forehead and between my brows, and then under my eyes and kind of around here, so that when I blend it out, it kind of shapes the eyeshadow just a teensy bit. I like the blown out look, but I don't want it to be like overwhelmingly blown out. There we go. I feel like that's a little more symmetrical. So once I do that, I go in with my Real Techniques, oh gosh, Expert Face Brush, and I just kind of buff it all in, press all of this product into my skin, even places where I didn't put the concealer. I just like a seamless line. Like to know that all my product is blended in, so I kind of just do this. I feel like even though we have very different skin types, most of my skin techniques that I use I learned from Mariah Leonard, just because I love the way that she does her base makeup. I love how because she is very dry skin, but she does have acne prone skin, and I feel like her tricks for dealing with it and getting a really nice looking base without putting a ton of makeup on have been really, really helpful for me in figuring out how to do this makeup that, you know, lets my skin show through, but I've learned most of my like flawless skin that looks like skin tricks from her, and I thank her for that every day because my skin looks way better. I think even just the combination of having the good, better skincare routine and better makeup routine that suits my skin has been really helping with how it looks and how it's been clearing up. This is seriously the best my skin has looked in years, and I'm really happy about it, but don't want to jinx it. I have very creasy eyes because I have allergies and I rub with them a lot in the spring and summer. So when I set them, I don't use a ton of powder. I'm gonna go in with that same Healthy Balance from Bourjois with an e.l.f. I don't know, e.l.f. powder brush of some kind. I'm gonna go all over my face because I do like to set it a little bit. I'll just like, boom. Because I do like it to last as long as possible. I don't want it to, and this is technically a matte powder, but it's very natural looking, so it doesn't take away any of the glow that I do like to my makeup, really. And I'm gonna take some under my eyes, just kind of like this. I make the best faces when I apply makeup. I've also just kind of, because I have this under eye situation where powder really makes it look shitty, but I don't want my concealer to completely crease and fall away, that I put on less concealer and less powder. So it helps with the way the concealer sits and the powder sits on my skin. So I put less on, let it show through a little bit more, but it lasts much longer than it used to when I would put like the whole triangle thing on my face. So now that I don't do that, my eyes have never looked better, my under eyes. So I'm just gonna go back really quickly and finish my eye situation. I'm going to just take that same crease brush, kind of squeeze it a little bit, and just go underneath my lash line, kind of blend out that corner again, just so we've got some, some under eye definition. I feel like, I don't know, I have really big eyes, and I feel like I have to do that to kind of keep them looking big, otherwise I feel like it's not balanced, So I'm gonna go underneath the other eye, go around like that. Another trick Mariah Leonard taught me. But my last thing for these eyes, aside from when I go in later and do mascara, is I'm gonna take my Makeup Forever Aqua XL pencil liner right here in the color, if I can find the name. Oh, right, they don't have names. It's number M30. It's like a teal turquoise kind of color. I have very watery eyes, and these are supposed to be waterproof, but they're not for me. So I love the color. I like this eyeliner, but I don't love it, if I'm being 100% honest. The one that I was gonna use is, instead of this, is actually a shadow stick from the Body Shop. That's like a kind of sparkly turquoisey blue. It's much more blue than this. And that actually, it's not marketed as waterproof, but that actually lasts way longer in my waterline, and I do like the way the color looks a little bit better than this one, but we'll deal. Oh, hang on, was this the one I was gonna use? I wasn't gonna use this. I was gonna use the ColourPop blue one. Prance, I lied. Sorry this is kind of messy. This was like kind of a spur of the moment decision to do this, because I was like, hang on. I recently redid my bedroom, and I finally feel like I have a setup that I really love and is ideal to me being productive and doing things in my time that I have right now, because I have a lot of free time right now. And I saw that the lighting was good, and I saw that my room looked good, and I was like, I have yet to put makeup on today. Why don't I film? So I'm filming, but it's a little, since it is off the cuff, it's a little disorganized, so I apologize for that. Any future videos I do, I promise, will not be quite this disorganized. Alright, I do like the way these last in my waterline, by the way. They are, I would say they're somewhere in between the Body Shop and the Makeup Forever one for me. And I think this color is a smidge better with like the very gold tones than the teal was. Just because I like the combination of true blues, or more true blue colors, and like the goldeny orange kind of tones. I think they look really cool together. So I'm gonna go back to the face, and I'm gonna start with my like bronzy contour deal that I do. I'm gonna go in with my with my butter bronzer from Physicians Formula. This is the light bronzer because I'm very pale. It's definitely it's not cool tone, but it pulls very, very neutral, and that works a lot for me because a lot of bronzers just, even if they're not very orange tone, just pull very orange on my skin because I am so pale. And this is one of the few that I actually feel like I can use to bronze / contour, and I really love the way it looks. I'm gonna go in with my Real Techniques blush brush with this because I like the way it's kind of tapered. It kind of cuts a nice, or it doesn't really cut because it's very fluffy, but I like the way it kind of does a gentle contour. So I'm gonna go in with that, just swirl that around. The other cheek. This is going to be a very long video, even if I managed to cut some of this down. So that's me. I talk. It's fine. If this is channel becomes a consistent thing, that's just kind of how it's going to be. And then I also always take a little bit, just fluff it on my nose, because that's, you know, a high point of your face. The sun will naturally hit there. A lot of my face, like bronzer application, shout out to Alana Davison for kind of pointing out those things to me, because I love the way she does her face makeup, like with bronzer and blush and highlight and everything. She knows how to shape her face well, and I like her philosophy behind bronzing and everything like that. So now that that's done, that's it's not matte, it's definitely a satin finish, but because it's summer and I like a glow, I'm gonna go in with my Milani Baked Bronzer in the shade Dolce. It's number 9. And this, I feel like these, like the baked bronzers and the baked blushes, are actually pretty good dupes for the Hourglass products. I do feel like because it is that kind of almost marbled effect, and like there is shimmer in there, but it's very not noticeable on the skin. The way that the light reflects off of it just makes it look like you're glowing, which is what I like. And I just kind of add a little bit of that over top of that bronzer that I already laid down on my cheeks and my forehead. I don't really go anywhere else with this because it is more for glowing up the skin rather than shaping it. I use this brush for everything with my face makeup just because I like having everything look blended together. I don't like it to look like there's stripes of stuff on my face. I'm gonna move on to blush. And I have been mixing, I love this Bare Minerals Gem Nude blush. I have the shade That Peach though. And I've been loving this since I bought it during the VIB sale. But I also just got the Burt's Bees blush in Shy Pink. And this is also really pretty. And I've been mixing these the last 2 days. And I like the flush it gives my skin. Like it literally just gives it very natural, like I've been out in the sun for a couple hours kind of flush. So I'm gonna mix these two. And just, the Burt's Bees one is very pigmented, so I have to make sure I top it off, otherwise it'll be like blush central. But then I just, boop. And I like to bring it up kind of into here, because then it really does give you that natural flush look. And I also feel like it works for my face shape because I've kind of round face, and it kind of pulls the focus away from the apples of my cheeks a little bit when I just kind of am a little more haphazard with my blush placement. See, it just looks it looks like I was out in the sun for a couple hours. I love that. And I also, trick I learned from Atlee is to put blush on your nose. I think that it is also part of that, and the way that I like to apply blush to make it look like I've been out in the sun. If the sun is hitting my cheeks, it's also hitting my nose, so boom. It's obviously, it's pretty subtle. It's not anything super noticeable, but I think it shapes my face nicely. So then for highlight, actually it's a good thing I didn't do my brows, because I've been trying this new thing with highlight where I bring it up into the tail of my brow, and if they were done, I would have messed it up. So it's a good thing I didn't do them yet. But I actually recently broke back out I got this a few years ago, the Balm Luminizer palette. It's technically called the Luminizer Sisters. The Mary Luminizer really is just like one of the best, like, bam, dewy, glowy powder highlights I have. And I'm really glad that I remembered that I had this. And so the first thing I do with this, I use 2 different brushes for this because I'm really extra. But I use the Real Techniques setting brush, and I take this brush and I just kind of smear it into that product. And then I go up right here and I kind of just work it into the skin through the tail of my brow, and then bring it down my cheekbone like that. And then I dip in again, because like I said, I'm extra. I come more down my cheekbone. I'm still just kind of working it in. I also bring it up in that kind of C shape around my brow. And it just like, I don't know how much you can see that on camera with this lighting, but it just gives such a pretty glow without looking unnatural or like super metallic or powder or anything. Especially, again, a Mariah Leonard trick, but like really working that powder into the skin just increases the glow you get from it rather than the metallic from it. And I like much prefer that look to my highlight than anything else. And then what I do next for this, just to make it look seamless instead of, because sometimes I like the way the smaller brush works it into the skin, but then sometimes you can get a little bit of a stripe going. I go back in with the brush that I use with my blush and bronzer, just kind of run it through there really quickly and gently do like a once over of my face, my whole freaking face. There you go. I really love the look it gives, just because it, again, it looks like my skin. It doesn't look like I did anything too extra or whatnot. I'm not sure how well it's coming off on camera, just because a lot of people go like the super glam for camera stuff, but I don't know. I do it for special occasions sometimes, but even then I like to keep my skin looking more natural. I like going all out with my eyes every once in a while. I've been playing with that more, but my skin, I know what I like with it, so I tend to keep it looking more everyday, natural kind of vibes. So I'm gonna go in with my brows, and I actually live by the Glossier Boy Brow, but I pulled out my Anastasia Brow Wiz again not so long ago, just to kind of help with the more sparse areas in this brow, and I forgot how much I liked it, and I've been just trying to get like an uber fluffy, feathery look to my brows, so I'll go in the front a little bit more with the brush strokes, and then I'll just run through the rest of the brow really quickly. I'm not going for precision here at all. I just like them to look, you know, like I said, fluffy and feathery. I've never once ever plucked or waxed or anything with my brows, and I never will. Honestly, I feel like I have good brows and I don't want to mess with them at all. So I know I'm lucky in that regard. Oh, that's actually perfect. Oh, dude, I feel like that's the best I've even done this recently. So now I'm just going to run through with the Boy Brow. This one is in the shade Blonde. I have also used brown before. I really like both shades, but since I used the pencil, I've been using the blonde on top of it, and I feel like it gives it just a slightly more naturally feathery look. But when I'm going for something like more of a bold statement feathery brow, I'll use the brown one. And I comb backwards through them and kind of brush them up just to smooth it out a bit. And then the tail, I'll do a little bit more of that shaping like that. And I learned that from Estee Lalonde, but she learned that from, I think it might have been Lisa Eldridge, I think. Good. I could be completely misremembering that, because I learned this in a video she posted probably over a year ago. But I think it was Lisa Eldridge that taught her this trick, and I've been doing it ever since I watched that video, and it works very well for creating that kind of natural feathery look. I'm obsessed with it. So there you go. Brows are done. I got the Urban Decay All Nighter, the Pollution Protection Spray, and I really, really like this because it keeps your makeup in place without mattifying it, and that's always, like, I never, unless I'm purposefully going for a matte look, I don't want my makeup to look matte. So this works really nicely to keep it on while still looking fresh and glowy. So just gonna do a lot too because my skin is feeling dry, so, or dehydrated rather. I always curl my lashes. I have really long lashes, but they're quite stubbornly straight, so I make sure I curl them really well before I do anything to them. And I curl them one at a time too, because they're that straight. They fall out with the curl almost right away. So I'm gonna go in with my Monsieur Big Lancome. I do have the travel size of the waterproof, which I also really like. It's just, it is quite waterproof, and even with oil, it does take quite a bit of effort to take it off, and I don't really feel like that all the time. This also stays on me pretty well, which is honestly a miracle, which is why I love this. One of the reasons why I love this stuff so much, because it does last so well on me without being waterproof. Until this mascara, I refused to use mascara that wasn't waterproof because of just how my eyes are. I don't feel the need to go in with like 3 different coats or use fake false lashes ever, just because I don't like it to look, I like whatever eye look I'm doing to show through. So that's that. That's my philosophy on lashes usually. And then actually for this eye, for the lashes on this eye, my left eye, they're just a smidge shorter than my other eye's lashes, which until recently was really irritating when I was trying to put on mascara. But now I've figured out the trick, and I think I heard something about Sam Ravindal saying this too. But I kind of gradually figured this out on my own, is for the inner corner, which is always the part that looks the most different between these eyes, is to kind of brush it up as if you want them to go towards your nose, and then it makes them stick up and stand up a little bit longer and fuller. And that's changed my mascara game. And now my lashes basically look the same on either side. The only thing left now is a lip, and I'm quite extra with my lip stuff these days. What I do right now is I start with my L'Oreal lip liner. It's honestly, this stays in my purse and it's completely ripped off. Oh, it's called Beyond Pink. There we go, found it. It's a very smudged. But this is basically the exact color of my lips, and I just use that to kind of define the edges of them a little more. I'm not somebody who overlines my lips ever. I only ever do it by accident when I'm putting on liquid lipstick. I feel like I have pretty full lips as is, and I don't feel the need to do that. And you know, some people feel the need to do that if they have super thin lips or uneven lips. And I don't necessarily begrudge people that. It's one thing if you got uneven lips and you just want to make, you know, the 2 sides match or anything like that, but there's a history of, you know, big lips and features like that being derided on black women and other women of color, and the second white women jump on the trend of super overlining their lips to get that full lip look, everybody's like, oh my god, it's gorgeous, her lips are gorgeous and huge, and like, oh, why would you ever want to not overline your lips? I don't want to say cultural appropriation, but it is kind of a touchy thing, and I understand why when the overlining the lip trend for white women started, black women were understandably upset, because it's something that a lot of black women have been made fun of or, you know, derided for over the years, and the second white women start doing it, it's praised like it's the best thing since sliced bread. Partially a moral thing for me that I don't do it, but also I don't feel like I need it. Makeup doesn't exist in a vacuum. You have to consider societal implications when you're using it, especially because it's an industry run by white men and not by women by any means, which is unfortunate. And when it's an industry based on the appearance of women is run by men, you have to make sure that you are actually doing it because you enjoy it, and not because the marketing for makeup that is put out by these white men is making you feel bad about something about yourself. Like, I did not wear makeup at all through high school. I didn't start wearing makeup until I actually watched Ingrid Nilsson's coming out video, and then I started watching more beauty videos and stuff like that. So I came into it when I was 22. And so I had that time to like know myself without makeup and to not be ashamed of what I look like without makeup, which is why I still regularly go without makeup even when I am having a breakout. Like, it's not something I depend on to be happy with myself, and I'm not saying that, you know, you're not allowed to use makeup if it makes you feel better about yourself. Like, I'm not telling people to not feel good about themselves, but I think it's important to recognize that the intentions of you using it, you really, I highly recommend examining why you use makeup the way you do and when you use it. I feel like I was lucky that I also didn't have a mother that wore makeup. My mom is also only recently kind of started getting more into it because I did. And she never pressured me to wear it or anything like that. I think it's a problem when, you know, 12-year-old, 13-year-old girls now are doing full beats and wearing clothes that when I was 12 and 13 years old, I would never have been allowed to wear. And I'm all about self-expression. I'm all about young women finding themselves, but at the same time, it concerns me that there is this over and hyper-sexualization of young women now, especially young girls in middle school, when that's the last thing they need. They should be having fun with their friends and like having their first crushes on boys or girls, and it's not, makeup shouldn't be something that they're worrying about. So that's why, like this, which sounds silly because this isn't theoretically going to be a makeup or beauty lifestyle channel, but like I said, it's something that I came to on my own, in my own time, without any outside forces kind of working themselves on me, because I grew up very isolated from it, and I think it's worth examining why you are into makeup within this kind of patriarchal society that doesn't like women very much. This got into a really big rant, and I don't know how much of this is going to make it into the video, but part of it will, because if I'm going to have this channel, I also want to talk about things that are important to me, and this is something that's really important to me, and I don't want to hide that on this channel either. I want to explore these things in a way that is responsible. This kind of went off on a tangent, and I still have only done one part of my lips, but yeah, so I use that to line my lips. Literally, like a lot of people use it to fill in. I rarely do that with lip liners. I just use that to line. Then I go on with the L'Oreal Color Shine lipstick. These are beautiful. They're like very balmy, really, with the more you kind of rub them on, the more lacquered they look, and it's still pretty nicely pigmented. They're not too pigmented in what I'm about to. I'm gonna more pat it on than anything, but you can wear this in so many ways that looks really beautiful. This was $9.20 lacquered strawberry. That's what I do with that, just a little bit of that color. And the last step in my lip routine is the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb. This shit is like the best gloss I've ever used in my entire life. I'm not going to use a ton today, but I also do love using this just on its own. It's very, very hydrating. It wears really beautifully. It doesn't wear off too quickly for a gloss, which is shocking. The one thing I don't love about this is when I'm wearing my hair down, it will get caught in it every once in a while, but otherwise this is like the perfect gloss. I'm just gonna do a little bit right in the center of my lip, and then there, like that, and then I'm done. So, how does my hair look right now? Actually, it looks pretty okay. I'm not even gonna do dry shampoo today because I don't think I need to. This is second day hair, folks, so it actually looks pretty good. Yeah, so this is my go-to summer kind of makeup, there we go. My go-to summer makeup routine. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed listening to me kind of talk about my makeup preferences and kind of what I would like this channel to be going forward. I'll list any products I used in the down bar below, and also link to some of the people that I mentioned and just how I learned how to do my makeup. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. See you next time. Bye.